Finally getting moving on the water system today. I've cut a piece of marine ply and sealed it. It's gonna mount vertically to the side of the bed frame, and then I've got a Seaflo pump and accumulator that are gonna mount to that, and then that's going to run PEX A across, and then over here across with all the wiring, and I'll go back down and head over toward the sink. So eventually it'll hit the water heater under the sink and then come back. The hot water will come out to a shower mounted somewhere over here, an outdoor shower for rinsing off shoes and bodies and whatnot. So first thing is to get this mounted up, so let's get started. I've made the mounting plate with marine ply, 1/2-inch marine ply, sealed with water-based polyurethane, and I'm putting adhesive backed felt between it and the bed frame rail that it's mounting to. I've put this on almost every surface that contacts the floor, the walls of the van, and it really makes an incredible difference in vibration and creaking and sounds. I can't stand vibration, so it's difficult to pull the van. Keep it quiet, but the felt seems to really do the job. Right now I've got the pump and the accumulator mounted with the pre-filter, and it goes into twist-on fitting into PEX A. I've got hot water coming back here to the shower. This will tee off and run back there, and also go to the shower. Everything else comes through and crosses over in my channel, and then goes under the countertop, which it'll run across into the sink area, and it'll be at least partially shielded from the electronics. If anything were ever to spring a leak, the water's not going to be run constantly or anything, so it shouldn't be a problem, and it'll never be unattended. If I had thought about it more, I would have made this crossover much larger, but I'd not originally intended to run the hot water back through it, so it was only meant to house one PEX, so it's pretty snug in here. I've got a marine round Romex going to an outlet on the other side of the countertop, 12 volts for the water pump, and 12 volts for the refrigerator running through here, and then a very small gauge lamp cord running back, which will run some lights. It'll go underneath the cabinet on this side. So anyway, the water's run at least over to the cabinet where it'll hit the water heater, and everything's pretty tidy. We'll keep an eye on it for any abrasions or anything, but everything looks like it's got at least enough room to do its job. So we'll pick up in the cabinet area. I don't have a real good angle to film this while I'm doing it, but I've got the 1/2-inch PEX A coming through. It's going to be secured to the bottom of the countertop. It's going to make a 90-degree turn right here and go straight down to the water heater. And then from that it's going to tee off, and both of the tees will go to these lines to the sink. I'll shorten them. And that should be it. Eventually this gray water will have a different bit of a P-trap, and then it'll be a drain valve through the floor, so we'll just be able to drain the gray water when and where we want to. It'll also include a vent to the outside for the gray water tank, so that we don't have to smell the gray water tank if it's got gunk in there. And then it'll also have an overflow for the thermal expansion valve on the water heater, which I don't really see ever being able to go off in the conditions we're going to be using it in. But we will get back to filming after I get this set up, because it's just a bit tight to get a good angle on. Got most of the PEX finished. I ran out of caps, so I've got to hook up the last faucet line and tighten these compression fittings. Other than that, this will turn hot water supply onto the water heater, and then the red line will be the return, tees off to the faucet, and then cold water tees off to the faucet. And that's about it. It's pretty simple, clean setup. Once I get a few more end caps, and that'll be all for up here. I'll start working on the gray water drain. Got everything hooked up to the relay panel for the water pump. It's kind of dark back here. It's all wired up. All the wires are running the crossover with the PEX. Pretty tidy. This wire comes back down for some floor lighting. It'll be underneath the cabinets. And then just got some round marine Romex going to outlet on the other side of the van, and that's about it. On to putting the connector on the water pump. Alright, finished up with the PEX under the counter. So we got cold water supply coming in, valve for the water heater, turn on the water, hot water coming back out. Both of these guys just go to compression fittings, just go to the faucet. So since we won't generally be using hot water, we can have that turned off. Eventually, the expansion valve will be hooked to a drain that's shared with the vent and the gray water tank. I've shortened the gray water tank's hose, and it provides a little bit of a P-trap there, and it's a little more compact. We'll see how that works, see if we need to add another different kind of trap down the road, but for now, that's what we're doing. Actually going to change this outlet box out for a deeper outlet box like that one, so that I can put a USB outlet in here. sink's all hooked up and ready to go. As soon as I get the water tank hooked up out here. So I just finished drilling a hole back there for the water pipe to go through. That's a pain in the butt. That's going to go up and snake around behind there and go into the inlet of the pump, and then through the strainer, then into the pump. Accumulator for the water to kind of equalize the pressure. And I have a T right here on the cold water. It comes back to the shower, and then the hot water, if this is the hot water return, all the way back from the sink. And that comes all the way back. So both of those will go into this guy right here. Just a simple shower. It's got a coiled hose, so I can use it to rinse off bikes or feet or whatever needs to be rinsed off. And that should just about do it. Also just finished this side's simple sliding door. Real pleased with the way that's turning out. This will be black stain that'll match the rest of the kind of dark stain around the van eventually. So shower will be up here. Got a few other things going in. That's about it for water. We got the 37-gallon water tank right here. That's the pressure refill. I'm actually not going to do a gravity refill. I've got an idea for that, which I'll show later, that I can use the pressure fill and just, pump out anything that I need to put into the tank. And that'll be another 1/2-inch hose going up to the pump, and that's all. Should be able to test the water system here in the next couple of days. I'm going to cut this video off here because it's getting long already and I've got a bit of work left. So testing the water system, leak checks, and all that'll be in part 2.